Hi crafty friends, I'm Chrissy from Blue Ridge Papery. Welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Today I have a project share and I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole with making clay charms this Christmas season. So I wanted to show you all what I've made. I want to say this was about 2-3 weeks in the making of all of these charms. I'm not sure I would do it again, but it sure was fun while I was working on it. I have to tell you though, I burned the first couple of batches. I was using a toaster oven instead of my regular oven. And yeah, you just can't control the heat with that. But in the end, they worked out really nice. So I used Sculpey clay and a Sculpey glaze on the top once they had been baked. And they don't bake for very long. They bake for at about 275 degrees for 5 to 7 minutes. Really not that long at all. So I'll show you that I made a dangle only using the charms that I made, and then I'll show you all the little individual charms. So let's start with this little wreath. I will mention that I did kind of a kawaii theme on these by making faces on them, and I kind of like the way they turned out. I think they're really cute. I know this is kind of hard to see with the glare from the glaze. See if I can get it to focus. So there is one of the wreaths I made. And here I'll show you some of the different colors as well for these things. They all kind of, let's put them here. So these are some of the different colors I made of those wreaths as well. Really, really cute. The bow was actually, I think like a candy mold that I just pressed the clay into, and that turned out really nice. Love the way that looks. All right. So let's go on to the candy canes. So with these, I twisted 3 different colors of rolled out very thin clay to make the candy canes. And all of these I put in twistable eye hooks at the top. Some of them I had to reinforce after they baked with glue, but most of them actually stayed in there really, really well. There's the candy canes. Next, I did a little hot cocoa cup. So let's see if you guys can see. There's a tiny little candy cane there. Doesn't want to focus close up. So there's a tiny candy cane, some marshmallows in there, and then the handle. So yeah, those were actually probably the hardest ones to do. The handle just did not want to stay on, but I really like the way it ended up turning out. So yeah, I made a bunch of those. Then I made, this was kind of like my attempt at peppermint bark. So it's just kind of a rounded square of brown clay, another one of white, and then I took a candy cane that I had rolled up and made and baked it. And then I took a razor and kind of shaved off little pieces of it to serve as the peppermint candy on the top of this. But I really like the way it turned out. I think it's kind of cute. Then I made, this is kind of a figgy pudding. So the white kind of icing and the brown cupcake base. That was a mold that I ordered on Etsy. And then I just tried to make some holly leaves and berry on the top of that. And the white, the white clay that I used has glitter in it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. So it makes it kind of shiny. So yeah, that's kind of like my figgy pudding. Now, where did I do those? Okay. And then of course I had to make gingerbread women. These were also kind of hard to make, especially with how tiny the rolls of clay were to make the little icing on the arms and legs. But yeah, I made all gingerbread ladies or girls. So I like the way those turned out. Then I made some Santa hats. So you can see I did a ball on the end of the hat, as well as around the rim of the hat. And I used an old toothbrush to texturize the white parts to make it look more like fur. So yeah, that's the Santa hat that I did. Then I did a Christmas tree. So I tried to do a little bit of a zigzag with a gold, very, very thin piece of clay, and then put some, like it's ornaments on the tree. And then it's got a cute little base on there and the cute little face. So yeah, that was the Christmas tree I made. And then I did a wreath, and this is actually before I got the cookie mold, where I made these bows with the cookie mold. I attempted to make bows myself, so you can kind of see where it's just very raised. I think it looks better with the flat cookie mold one. And then there's some red berries there as well. So that's the wreath. And then I made presents. So you've got the face there, and then the top of the present, bottom. Yeah, I honestly think these are my favorite. I really like these. And there's other colors as well. So we've got pink, we've got turquoise. I was making it all to go with a collection that I mostly used for all my Christmas swaps this year. So yeah, like the way those turned out. And then the most time-consuming ones were these tiny, tiny little gingerbread houses. So you've got the door on the front, tiny little knob, and then I used a clay piece of, like the confetti that you can get at Valentine's Day, and glued that on the back, and then texturized the snow on the roof and put little balls with different colors there. So yeah, I like the way that turned out. And there's different colors, like this one is a pink door and more red and greens on the top. And then this one is the darker pink, but on the top it's all kind of different shades of pink. Yeah. Oh, and here's one that has a red door, and it's got, reds, greens, pinks on the top. And all of them have the little pink clay piece on the back. So that is the gingerbread houses. And then I also made little Christmas balls. So to look like little Christmas ornaments. There's a pink one, a hot pink one, a lighter pink, turquoise, kind of a light blue, the same color that I did the hot cocoa mugs in, a green, and a red one. So yeah, as you can see here, I made quite a few of these balls to use for dangles and for various presents and things that I'm giving out with some of my swaps. And then the last two clay ones I made are, I tried to make tiny little sugar cookies. So it's got glitter on the top. So you can see how tiny this is compared to my finger, and I actually have very small hands. So I made a little heart and I made a little Christmas tree. And these were tiny little clay cutters that I ordered on Amazon. So there's the Christmas tree. So yeah, those were fun as well. Now let me give you a little bit of a closer up view of everything that I put all in this little bead container. All the different ones that I've made. And I made quite a few more than this. I actually filled two small trinket dishes with some of the ones that I made in a couple of swaps. Oh, I forgot to also show you guys. It was after Halloween, swaps were done, but I did make a couple of little pumpkins. So here is one. Here's a tiny one that doesn't have a face on it. And then another smaller one that does have a face. So I did those as well. And then I wanted to show you all this. This is a, let me see if I can zoom in on this. This is a dangle that I made for one of my swaps, and it is entirely made of the clay beads that I made. So we've got the gingerbread, the present, the tree, the house, we've got balls on here, one of the wreaths, the peppermint bark, a hat, the figgy pudding, and some of the sugar cookies, as well as a little candy cane. So yeah, I like the way that looks with just the clay pieces. So that is all for this video. Take care. Bye-bye.